Okay, so Bad Bunny, VOY, A LLEVARTE Pa PR. This one, like, really got me, you know? Different vibe than some of his other stuff, wouldn't you say?
Definitely has a unique energy to it.
And we've got a ton to unpack here. Lyrics, the music itself, even how the song dropped. Like Spotify did a whole treasure hunt thing. It's wild.
Yeah, that was a pretty creative launch strategy.
For real.
Mm.
But before we get into all that, what's your take on the overall message here? I mean, it's an invitation, right? But it's more than just come to a party.
Oh, absolutely. It's almost like he's inviting us to experience a whole culture. Like Puerto Rico itself is the main attraction.
I get that, but then there's that line, aquí nadie se va a casar, pero tú te va a querer quedar, which, translates to nobody's getting married here, but you're going to want to stay. Kind of throws me off, honestly. Is he like anti-marriage or something?
Well, Bad Bunny's definitely expressed some unconventional views on commitment before, so it's not entirely out of character.
So he's weaving his personal philosophy into the lyrics then.
It seems that way. He's contrasting that traditional idea of marriage with finding a different kind of fulfillment. It's like he's saying, forget the vows, find something real in Puerto Rico itself.
Okay, I can see that. But then he brings up Brickell, right?
Yeah.
Which is like this super swanky financial district in Miami. I don't get the connection.
It's subtle, but it's a powerful comparison. Think about what Brickell represents, you know? It's all about image, wealth, that constant grind for success.
Right. So he's setting that up against the vibe of Puerto Rico, which he's painting as this like raw, authentic experience.
Exactly. He's juxtaposing those two worlds to highlight what makes Puerto Rico unique. It's about depth, genuine connection, not just material wealth.
So it's not just a party anthem then. It's more like
An ode to Puerto Rico. You could even call it a love letter to the island. Its people, its culture.
totally. And it's not just the lyrics, right? The music itself is like steeped in Puerto Rican heritage.
Right. The whole song is built on classic reggaeton influences.
I could hear that, especially in the beat. It's got that old school vibe, but still sounds fresh.
He's a master at blending the old and the new. Like he directly samples the Hale Cartoa Peso, by Hector Elfather and Yomo. And there are some clear echoes of La Barria, too. The one by Wizni Yandel and Hector Elfather.
Ah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I knew it sounded familiar. So he's like paying homage to the roots of reggaeton.
Definitely. And he doesn't stop there. You can hear nods to Si esto facil, mi quiere bizarre, even Kazando Voy in there. It's like a history lesson disguised as a banger.
Okay, I need to revisit those tracks
Yeah.
for sure. But before I get lost in a reggaeton wormhole, let's talk about this El Sapo Concho character. It keeps popping up. What's the deal there?
Well, it's not just a random name. It's actually inspired by the Puerto Rican crested toad, which is sadly an endangered species.
Whoa, really? So he's bringing in, like, environmental themes into this party track.
It's subtle, but it's there. It's like he's weaving in this layer of social commentary about conservation, tying it back to Puerto Rico's natural heritage.
I did not pick up on that at all. Adds a whole other dimension to the song.
He's sneaky like that. Bad Bunny's really good at layering meaning into his work.
And then, on top of all this, there's the way the song dropped. Like, the whole Spotify, Google Maps treasure hunt thing. Just brilliant marketing, honestly.
Agreed. Hiding song titles on Google Maps, having fans use coordinates to find them, such a cool way to get people engaged before the album even came out.
And the coordinates for VOY, A LLEVARTE Pa PR, as it led to.
A painted message right on a store shutter in San Juan, like part of the city itself became part of the album release.
I love that. It's like he's saying this isn't just music. It's a place, an experience. He's inviting us to be a part of it all.
Yeah, it really reinforces that whole invitation theme. It's like he's saying, come to Puerto Rico, discover it for yourself.
Okay, so we've got this song that's like a cultural statement, a musical homage, a personal invitation, all rolled into one.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to uncover here.
Right, let's take a breath, maybe grab a drink, and then dive even deeper into this whole thing.
That line about marriage, aquí nadie se va a casar, pero tú te vas a querer quedar. It's like he's challenging us to rethink commitment. Like, what does it really mean to belong somewhere, to be connected to a place?
Yeah, it's deeper than just saying marriage is bad. It's more about finding a different kind of fulfillment, right?
Exactly. Like the experience of being in Puerto Rico, immersing yourself in the culture, it can be so powerful that it transcends those traditional ideas of love and happiness.
It's almost like he's positioning Puerto Rico as this alternative to, like, the whole American dream Pursuit of love, marriage, house with a white picket fence.
I see that. And it ties back to that Brickell comparison too, right?
Totally. Brickell represents that whole hustle culture that's striving for material success.
It's all about individual achievement, climbing the ladder, getting ahead. And Bad Bunny is offering a different vision, one that's rooted in community, shared experience.
It's like he's saying, look, there's more to life than just money and status. Come find something real in Puerto Rico.
And he's not just telling us about it, he's showing us through the music.
Oh, for sure. Like those reggaeton references, the samples, the quotes from other songs. It's all intentional.
He's curating this sonic experience, weaving together different generations of reggaeton. Like, remember he mentioned Si Estoy Fácil, that's Plan B, a duo that really pushed the boundaries of reggaeton.
Yeah, they were known for being pretty explicit, right? Pushing the limits of what was acceptable.
Exactly. But then he also throws in Mi Quiere Besar, which is Alexis y Fido, and they're known for their more romantic, melodic style. And then there's Kazando VOY, Crazy Angel, which captures that raw street energy of early reggaeton.
So he's like pulling from all these different corners of the genre.
Yeah. He's creating this dialogue between the past and the present, showing how the music has evolved while still honoring its roots.
It's like a history lesson and a party all in one.
Exactly. And it's not just the music itself, it's the imagery and symbolism he uses too. Like we talked about El Sapo Concho and the environmental message there.
And then there's the whole Google Maps treasure hunt thing. Like, that was genius marketing.
It really was. It wasn't just about promoting the album, it was about creating an experience for the fans.
And by hiding the title, VOY, A LLEVARTE Pa PR, on a store shutter in San Juan.
It literally brought the song into the real world.
It's like blurring the lines between music, place, and experience.
He's inviting us to step into his world, to see Puerto Rico through his eyes.
It's about going beyond the superficial and connecting with something deeper.
It's about finding your own version of paradise, even if it doesn't look like the traditional picture of success.
So for you, the listener, what does this all mean? What are you taking away from this deep dive so far?
It's a question of whether you'll accept the invitation. Will you let Bad Bunny be your guide?
Will you open yourself up to the rhythm, the energy, the cultural richness that he's sharing with the world?
Will you let the music transport you, challenge you, maybe even change the way you see the world?
That's the power of music, isn't it?
Absolutely. And in this case, Bad Bunny is offering us something truly special. But before you go book that flight to Puerto Rico, let's take a closer look at how he uses specific lyrics and musical techniques to create this immersive experience.
You know what gets me? Like, on the surface, this is a party song, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much more going on beneath the surface.
Oh, totally. It's like he's playing with our expectations. We think we're getting one thing, and then boom, he hits us with these deeper reflections on culture, identity, even the environment.
Right. Like, I'm dancing along, and then suddenly I'm thinking about endangered toads and the history of reggaeton.
Exactly. And he does it in a way that's so subtle, you know? He's not preaching, he's just inviting us to think a little deeper, make those connections on our own.
And the music itself is so catchy. Like,
Yeah.
I can't get this song out of my head. But at the same time, it's making me think, you know?
Hmm.
Like those lyrics about marriage, the Brickell versus Puerto Rico thing.
Yeah, that contrast is so important. He's not just saying one place is better than the other. It's about different ways of seeing the world, different values.
I'm starting to see that. Brickell represents a certain kind of success, right? The American dream, the whole pursuit of wealth and status.
It's all about the hustle, the grind, the individual achievement.
And Bad Bunny is offering a different perspective. Like, maybe there's another way to live a good life. Maybe it's not all about the money and the fancy stuff.
Maybe it's about community, connection, cultural heritage.
He's making us question our priorities, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are we really chasing after?
Exactly. And the invitation to experience Puerto Rico, it's like he's saying, come see for yourself. Come discover a different way of being.
And the way he uses music to do that, it's just brilliant. All those reggaeton references, the samples, the quotes, it's like he's weaving together this sonic tapestry.
He's giving us a taste of Puerto Rico through the music itself. Like, listen to this, feel this rhythm, and you'll start to understand.
It's like a cultural exchange through sound.
It's about opening ourselves up to new experiences, new perspectives.
So are you going to accept the invitation?
That's the question, isn't it?
Are you going to let Bad Bunny be your guide?
Are you going to open your mind, your ears, your heart to what he's offering?
I think I'm ready to take that journey.
Me too. Let's crank up VOY, A LLEVARTE Pa PR, dive into those classic reggaeton tracks, and maybe even start planning a trip to the island.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find our own little piece of paradise.
And that wraps up our deep dive into Bad Bunny's VOY, A LLEVARTE Pa PR.
We hope you enjoyed the ride. Stay curious, keep exploring, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.